From the Shield Sports Desk, I'm Chris Klein-on-Schultz. The Valpo men's basketball team opened Horizon League play this week with a pair of wins in Chicago. The Crusaders defeated UIC in overtime on Thursday before taking down Loyola on Saturday. This gave Valpo a 4-game winning streak heading into their highly touted home matchup with the number 18 Purdue Boilermakers on Tuesday. A sellout crowd packed the Athletics Recreation Center to see two of the best teams in Northwest Indiana square off. The action began early in the first half when a Boilermakers steal sets up a thunderous slam from Etuan Moore to put Purdue up 8-2. Valpo shows that they can get points in transition as well, with Matt Kenny taking the ball and feeding it to Brandon Wood, which would cut the Crusaders' deficit to 3 points late in the first half. Wood also hit shots from behind the arc, knocking down this three-pointer to give Valpo its first lead of the game at 25-23. Purdue would fight back to take a 2-point lead into halftime, and they started to pile the points on with a Ryan Smith tray early in the second half. In spite of a record crowd of 5,432 fans at the Arc, Valpo loses to number 18 Purdue 76-58. Valpo now sits at 6-3 on the season and will remain in non-conference play this Saturday when the Crusaders take on the struggling Toledo Rockets in Ohio. The Crusader women's basketball team also was in action last week as they went down to Evansville, Indiana for the Aces Classic. On Friday, the Crusaders lost a heartbreaker to Evansville, courtesy of a last-second bucket, falling by a final score of 69-67. That sent the Crusaders to the consolation game of the Aces Classic with the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers on Saturday. Valpo was ahead by 8 points late in the first half, but Kayla Cook hit a shot from downtown to spark a 17-0 Chanticleer rally that would extend through most of the second half. The Brown and Gold would respond as freshman Tabitha Gerardo used a pair of layups to lead the Crusader comeback. The game was tied at 45 points apiece in the final seconds, and a missed buzzer beater from Coastal Carolina would force the game into overtime. During the extra session, Valpo looked to another newcomer to lead them as Parkland College transfer Ashley Timmerman made this three on Valpo's way to a 59-52 win over Coastal Carolina. The victory was also the 400th career win for Crusader head coach Keith Freeman. The 2-5 Crusaders head back on the road Wednesday to face the Mastodons of IPFW before returning to the Arc to start a 3-game homestand this Saturday. During this stretch, Valpo will host the University of Pittsburgh, Chicago State, and the number 18 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. After 2 weeks away from the lanes, the Valpo women's bowling team competed for the first time this December at the Jeanette Lee Invitational in Richmond, Virginia over the weekend. Ranked number 11 in the country, the Crusaders started the tournament with 6 straight wins on Saturday, and they would eventually finish Sunday in 7th place out of 22 teams in the field. Next up for Valpo is the Midwinter Classic hosted by Arkansas State coming in January. Finally, in Crusader volleyball news, Valpo ended its season back in November with an appearance in the Horizon League tournament title game and a 27-8 overall record. Sophomore libero Taylor Root led Valpo through the year with outstanding plays and a record-breaking campaign. Our own Keen Galogli has more on the Crusaders' sensational sophomore.
In 4 years as a part of the Horizon League, the Valparaiso volleyball team has had 3 Defensive Players of the Year. It was Brittany Malicote in 2007 and 2008, and in 2010, it's Taylor Root. To be on the top 10 career digs list with over 1,300 digs, to have 2 of the 6 highest single-season digs total, including the top spot, finish a season with the highest digs per set mark in the entire nation, and have the Horizon League Newcomer of the Year as well as the Horizon League Defensive Player of the Year plaques on your mantle is what most would consider a very successful career. However, for sophomore Taylor Root, it's just the beginning. With 28 digs against Central Michigan University on November 27, 2010, Taylor Root broke Valparaiso University's single-season digs record with 754, while averaging 5.94 digs per set, the best digs per set mark in all of NCAA Division I volleyball. Root broke 2009 graduate Brittany Malicote's record of 740 digs set in 2007, back when sets were referred to as games and were played to 30 points rather than the 25 they play now. Taylor Root, known as Tay-Tay by her teammates, plays the quietest, most thankless position on the volleyball court, and frankly, she would like to keep it that way, but the accolades and praise just keep on coming.
It's funny because the big hitters, you know, the end-all spike is usually the players who get all the recognition, or even the setters who get the hitters the ball. But none of that is possible without good back row play. And you have to be a good passing team, and you have to be a good defensive team to be a great team. And obviously Taylor being the anchor of our passing and defense proves that if you have a good libero and you have a good anchor in the back row, that your team's going to be successful. I want her to be a little more selfish with the ball. I want her to cut people off. I want her to pass as many balls as she can. And I think last year as a freshman, she was a little hesitant. And so I think that she's realizing, okay, I see, what my job is.
Yeah, I definitely felt a lot more confident this year than last year just because I had 1 year under my belt now, but I knew the team still relied on me the same way they did last year, so just came out every game.
They're very quiet in practice, but they both led by great example. They were both working the hardest, never had to say much until something was definitely needed, and I think that's the greatest part, where you knew that something was going wrong if either Brittany or Taylor had to speak up and say something, because obviously that took them out of their comfort zone.
Well, I'm kind of a shy person, so having to talk a lot more to my hitters was a big responsibility to me, and Karen talked a lot about that to me, that I needed to be more verbal on the court, and especially with 8 freshmen, I had to be a leader, and so I really worked on that this year.
Even if she messes up a play before, you know that she still has the next play, because, like I said, she just has that true, calm confidence.
She is, one of the main reasons that we have been very successful these last 2 years.
In the first 2 years of Taylor Root's career, she's averaging 670 digs per year and 5.36 digs per set. For some perspective on those numbers, both would have been tops in the Horizon League this season. Taylor Root has the opportunity to be the all-time leader in career digs in both Valpo and Horizon League history, but none of that would mean as much to her as the first Horizon League championship in Valparaiso history. Reporting for VUTV, I'm Keaton Glogly.
Root was also named to the All-Midwest Region team on Tuesday by the American Volleyball Coaches Association. This makes Root eligible to receive All-America honors from the AVCA, who will announce this year's group of All-Americans on December 15th. That's all from the Shield Sports Desk. I'm Chris Klein-Schultz.
Thanks, Chris. It's a good thing that our basketball team is doing so well.
And that they play indoors considering how cold it is outside.
It has been frigid. Will there be any break in this weather? We turn it over to meteorologist Derek Janulis.
Good evening, Valparaiso. I'm meteorologist Derek Janulis from the VUTV Weather Studio. And lately it's been very cold. We've been dealing with highs only in the 20s. And around this time of year, we should be having highs in the mid to upper 30s. So if you've been feeling the chill, it's not because of you. It's because of that Arctic air mass that's been hovering over our region the past week. And that's quite a contrast to the above average October and November we had. So definitely a shock to our systems. I know it is for me. And the good news is that it's going to get warmer in the next few days, but the bad news is that we're going to get a mixed precipitation with the approaching storm system from the west. And that's going to bring a rain-snow mix because we'll be hovering around freezing over the next 3 days. And also we're going to bring windy conditions through the weekend. And that's going to make it feel colder than it actually is because of the wind chill. So be prepared for that. Even though it looks like it's going to be warmer, it's actually still going to be pretty chilly. But next week is when we get the real cold air. We're going to struggle and make it out of the teens next week. And that's going to be in the wake of the storm system that's moving through our area. So tonight, expect a low 29 degrees, warmer than what it has been, but we can expect that wintry mix of precipitation, rain, snow, even some freezing drizzle in spots. Cloudy and breezy throughout the night. And that breezy weather continues as we head through the 5-day. We have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Temperatures will be in the 30s with periods of wintry mix and rain and snow as we head through the weekends. But the latter half of the weekend's looking better in the precip department. We start clearing out, just getting a few flurries, but it gets a lot windier and a lot colder. Sunday, temperatures will drop throughout the day. Then Monday, we're left with very frigid conditions with a high 19 degrees, so be prepared for that as you head out to take your finals. For the Shield, I'm Derek Janulis.
Thanks, Derek. And more Valpo news. A new company in the city of Valparaiso has launched. ClickBug Studios is located in downtown Valpo and seeks to create online virtual worlds for students to be both entertained and educated. The site has already launched Perfunpool, a purple virtual learning kingdom where children can play and learn. Another world the company is working on is called Visit Valparaiso, which is a virtual world of what Valpo looked like back in 1910. The purpose of the site is for children to generate interest in the city and the history in general. Once the site is completely developed, ClickBug plans to take the concept to other communities in hopes of having virtual old-school cities set up in many of Indiana's communities.
After the arrival of the beautiful winter snow, the Christmas season is fast approaching. Even though students are dealing with the stress of finals, many are excited and ready for the holiday.
I'm looking forward to going home, spending time with my family and friends, and just getting out of Valpo and not worrying about school.
I'm most looking forward to seeing my family again. We're having people come from out of state, so that'll be fun. And I'm hoping to have a big Christmas party with my friends from high school, so looking forward to that.
I'm most looking forward to going back home and hanging out with my family.
The last official day of classes is December 10th, and finals run from the December 12th until the 17th. The residence halls officially close at noon on the 18th.
The University Chapel is host to a unique musical event Sunday afternoon. Students, staff, and community members join together for the first ever Valpo Tuba Christmas. The event joins musicians who play the tuba, euphonium, baritone, tenor, and sousaphone horns or lower brass instruments for a Christmas concert. The event is popular in many cities, but this is the first such event in Valpo's history and something that may become a tradition. If you're interested in other unique Valpo music events, Vuvox, the men's a cappella group, will have their Christmas concert on Saturday at 11 in the ballrooms, and Hooked on Tonics, the co-ed a cappella group, will sing in the Center for the Arts on Sunday at 3 in the afternoon.
Last week, VUTV had the opportunity to sit down with Vice President of Integrated Marketing and Communications, Scott O'Connor, to discuss the new brand initiative that has consumed campus most of this semester. In incorporating the whole brand, including the mascot, which part do you think has received the most dissatisfied response?
Definitely the mascot. I mean, and I think that's hard for any university. Mm-hmm. You know, you're changing your mascot. You're changing something that is around for a long time. We've done it a few times in our history. In this case, we didn't change our actual name. We're still the Crusaders, but we changed the face of the Crusaders, and I think we did a pretty good job of trying to relate that back to the overall university identity, as I mentioned earlier, with the shield and what this new Crusader stands for.
So given that there has been so much dissatisfied response with the Crusader, have there been any plans to change parts of it, change aspects, incorporate more student ideas into the Crusader?
I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, from what I've seen in the research, I've seen a vocal minority that's really, really against the new Crusader. Mm-hmm. I've also heard thousands of positive responses to the new Crusader. I mean, we get emails every day from alums and other folks saying that they like the new Crusader and they like us to keep it. I mean, I think over time, we'll definitely be open to feedback. If this new Crusader needs adjustments or modifications to its costume, we'll bring those forward. The research will help us to do that. And so at IMC, one of the things we do really carefully is data drives our decision making. And so we'll use focus groups and survey research in about a year to really start to assess how is this new Crusader being received and what do we need to do to it to modify.
Now that the brand has been in place for a semester, some students have good reactions to the brand and others feel the same way they did when it was first launched.
Has my opinion changed about the brand? Not really. I haven't really liked it from the start. I don't really hear about it anymore, so I mean, I'm not like upset they changed the brand, but I mean, I don't really care too much about it really, so.
I really didn't see why we changed the brand in the first place. I really don't know why still. I can see changing the Crusader because it was kind of goofy and cartoonish. We should still get the new Crusader a better shield and at least a plastic sword or something. It's still kind of, a little girlish, not very intimidating. But the brand, I mean, I don't know. I still don't really have much of an opinion on it because, I mean, I like the old one. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
When the brand first came out, I didn't really like it. I thought it was weird that they went through all that trouble, but now I guess I'm sort of used to it. I don't really mind it. I don't have any strong feelings either way.
You can catch the whole interview with Scott O'Connor immediately following this newscast. And that's all from this week's Shield. Good luck with finals. I'm Justin Thompson-Gee.
And I'm Lauren Whitney-Gottbreath. On behalf of all of us here at VUTV, we wish you a very Merry Christmas.